Hello, good morning and welcome to What Med Media for those of you that are new here. I'm Dr Kishan Rees and it's been a while and I apologise for that. I've basically been on leave. We might be able to lose that actually so you can get a better view of what's going on in the background. I've been on leave, I've taken my own advice, I've switched off and feeling the benefit for it really. Before we get into the meat of this video, if you could do me a favour and let me know when it's 8:25. Hey Philippa, how you doing? Bring them on camera. I don't know what you think about that, whether we give that a go. If you can let me know when it's 8:25, I'd really appreciate it because I've got to go for 8:30. But I wanted to give you an update on firstly my biohacking journey, but before that I wanted to kind of mention and check in with you guys really to see how you were. It clearly is a worrying time at the moment with news of a local lockdown in Leicester. Obviously a place very dear to my heart in the sense that I went to medical school there, and all my friends and colleagues that are in Leicester that won't be able to get haircuts on the 4th of July, they won't be able to go to non-essential shops. But then also we've got the World Health Organization, I don't know if you saw that in the news last night, saying that the worst is yet to come. So it is a worrying time and it is concerning, and I can only imagine the anxiety that you guys must be feeling at home. And whilst we might be able to do some questions today if you have any, so let me know where you're watching, where you're from, what it's like where you are. That is really helpful, that's really useful. What's the state of your hair, what's the state of your eyebrows? Hopefully it's a lot better than mine, but c'est la vie. And then what I wanted to do is basically encourage you guys as much as possible to try and switch off from the politics of this now. Because they've finished the daily press conferences. There's no longer any accountability. There's not going to be any questions. There's no vital mechanism for the public to get information. It is a double-edged sword in the sense that they became a little bit of a charade, in my opinion, towards the end, and nobody was really answering questions. People were ducking, diving. Was there really any point? They finished the press conferences, but it's an opportunity for you to concentrate on the things that you can influence and the things that you can change. So from an update from a biohacking point of view, it's been 4 months now. The last 4 weeks I've had leave, very lucky that I've been able to be on leave. It was a case of having to use it or lose it. So I used it and I benefited greatly from it. But over the past 4 months, you will know, for those of you that have been watching these videos right from the beginning, the start of this hit me hard, okay? Psychosomatic symptoms, getting told by the PM that I had to get used to the idea of mourning the loss of my loved ones early. So there was, there's video clips, you could go back, I'll give you a summary. Essentially, I was in tears, waking up thinking that I had acid on me, jumping into a cold shower, that woke me up pretty quickly. Really struggling, essentially mourning the loss of my family early, right? I'm not particularly convinced that Boris should have, or Johnson, however you want to refer to him, should have said that, to be honest, because he is not trained in breaking bad news, and using that medium of the number 10 podium and letting people know that will have had significant impact on people across the country. So there was that, and it did affect me badly. But even back at that point, I took the decision that I wanted to try and influence everything that I could as much as possible to improve my health, my fitness, so that A, it's a good thing to do, but B, if I did contract COVID, then I'd be in a situation where I'd be better off, right? John, I had a heart attack 2 weeks ago. I was taken to hospital and saw nothing of COVID-19 and nobody wanted to talk about it, what was going on. I don't know, John, whereabouts are you? Firstly, I hope you're okay, and I'm sorry to hear that you had a heart attack. I'm glad that you went into hospital because a significant proportion of people were sadly not going into hospital and they're having their heart attacks at home. If you let me know where you are, that'd be interesting to know. But yeah, so going back to the thing in terms of trying to influence what you can control, right? So it's been 4 months now. It's 106,000 calories been burnt. 1,500 miles of cycling, and that has translated to 12 kilos-ish of weight loss. So the next part of my biohacking journey is essentially looking at intermittent fasting. because I titled this video "The End of the Daily Grind," right? And what this has certainly given me the opportunity to do, and I'd encourage as many of you as possible to take this view on it, is to make your life as healthy and efficient as possible, okay? So yeah, I appreciate that some people, many of my colleagues that have to go to work at Watford General Hospital and various other hospitals across the country around the country, might not have that luxury of being able to work from home. And that's the case of, as a society, we need to basically speak up and protect people working in the public services, as in the health service, fire, police, ambulance, military, whatever, because they're so busy putting their lives on the front line that they suffer the consequences from it, right? So we need to give them more than the clap for 12 weeks. We need to speak out for them and make sure that pay, conditions, working environment is as best as it can be, because it has been neglected over the last 10 years. That is not politicising anything, it's fact, as Rafa Benitez infamously put it in that press conference, right? So I guess the big take home from this video is, yes, it's very concerning. Yes, it's not time to say, oh, let's just rush out, Independence Day, Saturday, 4th of July, pubs are open, it's going to be sunny, let's get out there. Far from it. You know, I'm still taking my once daily exercise, limiting shopping as much as possible. My online shopping has gone up, don't get me wrong. If I have to nip out, I nip out at times of the day, either beginning or end. I wear a mask, I wear gloves, and if a shop has a queue as long as your arm with loads of people in it, I think, okay, well, I'll come back tomorrow. I don't really need it, or I'll go somewhere else, right? So a lot of this is about planning ahead. So I think that's about it, what I wanted to say, in terms of basically just try and detach from it as much as possible. We're not out of the woods yet, despite, you know, what I think, I don't know, obviously, but just my analysis of looking at it, the number 10 press machine, and what's going to happen now is spend, level up, crack on. Oh, look, Boris Johnson with a helmet that doesn't fit. Oh, I can do a press up, but it's only a video of a press up, and it was appalling form, I hasten to add. There's a great article, or well, not really article, like comment piece in The Guardian, just saying how bad the form was. But the good news is Keir Starmer has said that he would, do a first to 50 challenge at PMQ, so that'd be interesting. I think it speaks a lot to the fact that they're having to use these press opportunities to prove the fact that Johnson is fit and healthy, and he's fit as a butcher's dog, as they imagine it, which, if that's the case for him, great. I'm really happy, of course. As a doctor, you've got to look out for your patient's well-being, and I hope that he recovers. However, what we need to do is, the really concerning thing that I saw was he said something along the lines of, oh, like most people, or like many, many people from COVID, let's just hold fire on that for now, right? And let's just keep an eye on the emerging health scandal, or what could be one of the emerging health scandals of our time, which is something called long COVID, okay? So back in the early days of this, we were told, yeah, you might as well get it. Don't worry, if you're young, doesn't matter. And that seeded stuff in the public consciousness where people were really, really, I forgot to pause my workout. That's really bad news. That's going to ruin my average. Anyway, sorry. So what happened, right, is we were told, yeah, just get it. Don't worry about it. It's okay. But now what's happening is people are actually saying that they're getting this kind of ME or viral ME or post-viral fatigue, or this kind of syndrome where they're constantly knackered and they're not feeling very well. And I spoke to a colleague yesterday, he said that one of his friends was like, yeah, the kids are running so much faster. And they're like, no, the kids aren't running that much faster. It's just you're much more knackered, right? So let's just keep an eye on that, and let's pressure and support and make sure that enough research is going in to this post-viral fatigue sort of syndrome, also known as long COVID. And my advice on a broad scale, whilst I can't advise people individually, my advice on a broad scale is avoid it as much as possible. I've come to a place where it's isolated, where nobody's going to walk past me. If there is somebody walking past me, I can see behind me and I'd get out of the way on the camera, and I can see in front of me. And that is the kind of behaviours that everybody needs to employ when they go out, when they venture out, right? So yeah, I hope that was kind of helpful. Just before I go, I'll scroll through the comments. John, you haven't mentioned where your heart attack is. I'm really sorry where that is. Philippa, if you're still here, I'm going to try and bring you on camera. I did warn you. Philippa has received an invitation to bring you on camera. Go on, accept. That'd be good. Who else? Jackie, try and bring you on camera as well. Can I add more than one person? No, I can't. Oh, yeah, maybe. Hold on, add. Can't bring Jackie on camera, sorry. Because Philippa isn't wanting to do it. Maybe Philippa's gone. Maybe Philippa's gone to work, to be fair, which is probably what I should be doing. Oh, look, a tear. I don't know what happened there. That's not that's not a sad one. I think it might be the wind. Connection failed. Oh, Philippa, you let me down. Let's see. Gareth Roach, bring you on camera. Can't bring Gareth on camera. This is not fun, is it? Sandra Painter. How are you doing, Sandra? I wonder if we can bring you on camera. Adding. This is positive. Also, what's the time? I need to go. Morning. Hello, Francesca. How you doing? Francesca, let's try and bring you on camera. See what this does. I've never done this before, so as you can see, it's a little bit bad. Right, come on, Francesca. Let's 8:16. I've still got time. Connection failed. Gutted. Doesn't want to work. Okay, there's no questions, no comments. Everyone's just waking up, I guess. Last chance. We'll try Francesca, bring on camera, see what it does. Quick update on the crowdfunding. Thanks very much for that. We got to £1,100, I think. We stretched it to 1,500, so that's great. We're just using little kind of pockets of money just to send original content to a wider audience. That's good. Also, as you can see in the background, that's the local test facility. That's improved massively in terms of, in the early days, I heard reports of people in Nottingham. Hey, Mags, how you doing? I heard reports of people in Nottingham that were basically, what were they, in Nottingham, like shaking as they were going near somebody. Thanks, Claire, that's very kind. I don't know. I just think I read a lot about it and want to share that knowledge with you guys and let you guys make the decisions, to be honest. I'm open to critique. I'm open to questioning. If I don't know, I'll let you know. But I think because of my work, I'm across it, so I might as well chat to you guys about it. Ben, good evening from Melbourne. How are you doing? Sandra, not happy now with children able to transmit the disease, but government still insisting they can go back to school. Yeah, well, I mean, let's just see how it pans out, right? I thought it was fascinating to see Gavin Williamson yesterday threatening. Somebody wrote an article about him saying that he was like some petulant sixth former, where they're just like threatening to fine parents if they don't go back to school. Who knows? That could be their very own poll tax moment, couldn't it? You never know. So yeah, I think it is a concerning time. I think people need to be vigilant. I saw Boris kind of ditch the stay alert. Has now said let's be vigilant. Let's keep an eye on what their plans are. Let's not let them. Oh, the other thing I was going to say is I forgot the news yesterday where I've forgotten his name. What's the head of the civil service? Really bad. Didn't plan this part of the video in my head, but I forgot his name. But basically Dominic Cummings said that hard rain is going to fall in the civil service, and apparently it's their fault for the government's handling of this. I find that quite hard to believe, but anyway. Coming from somewhere experiencing significant second peak. Stay safe, guys. Okay, I'm sorry to hear that, Ben. We need to be really mindful. We need to be really alert. Sorry. Well, I don't know. He's moved on to vigilant now, hasn't he? So, yeah, vigilant, alert, whatever. This is not over by a long shot. And all I would say is at least we've got opposition that are actually holding them to account now. And I think a lot of the U-turns, the kind of quite frazzled press conferences, ministers laughing, kind of laughing at each other or on the media or whatever. I think that is as a result of effective opposition. Sandra, thanks. We are old and our grandson will be going back to college in September. Keep safe in lockdown for months. Interesting that I think Oxford or Cambridge, can't remember which one, but one of them is not doing physical courses until 2021 as far as I'm concerned. When's Eton going back as well? It's probably worth looking on their website, seeing when Eton are going back. My teenager has not been out of the house apart from his daily exercise since lockdown began. I think most of the college students are doing the same. Great. As long as your mental health is not suffering as a result of it, that's great. For the people that are shielding, for the people that have been kind of locked down since March, it has been difficult, without a shadow of a doubt. And, the disappointing thing that I see on social media is people saying, oh, well, we need to live our lives. You can just, stay in your house. Where is the sense of community? Where is the sense of society? Where is the sense of sort of social responsibility? Everybody's got an individual responsibility, but they've also got a social responsibility as well. Jay, hey Jay, I haven't seen your name before. Welcome. I hope this long COVID post-viral fatigue syndrome broadens the discussion on similar issues that seem to be willfully ignored by much of the medical establishment, such as ME. Completely agree, Jay. Let's see if I can like that. Completely agree. Yes, I can like that. I completely agree with that. Absolutely. Look, put it this way, right? As a disruptor, and as somebody who wasn't meant to be a doctor, right? I don't have any doctors in the family. I know I talk like I went to private school, but that's just basically because I copied how people that went to private school talk, because I don't know, I just did. But I wasn't meant to be a doctor. I have no doctors in the family. I was told in year 9 that we don't think you can be a doctor because we don't think you'll get the right GCSEs. Therefore, we don't think you'll get the right A-levels. Therefore, we don't think any medical schools will take an interest in you. So I said, well, I'd rather give it a go, right? But then also from personal experience of my family, where the medical profession has let them down, and people have, somebody has actually lost their life many years ago in a very sad way, right? I am very much a disruptor. I'm very much an outsider. And I think the medical establishment, I agree. Was it Jay who said that in terms of the comment? Yeah, I agree, Jay. Because many years ago, we used to put patients with back pain 6 weeks of bed rest, right? That is the worst possible thing. There is so much about the body that we don't understand still, with, for instance, the gut-brain axis, okay? There's so many advances daily, okay? The danger that I see is we're actually moving towards an anti-science, anti-fact kind of world where, it would suit the not the medical establishment, but it would suit the establishment if that happened in a medical sense, because all these advances are costly, right? And if we can return medicine to the dark ages, then that'll save some money as well. Isn't that great? Forget about it, right? We're one of the, 5th, 6th richest, largest economy in the world. The origins and the history of that are somewhat dubious, which I've certainly started reading more about, and I completely understand now. But what positive change can we make in the world moving forward? And from a scientific point of view, from a life sciences point of view, I truly believe that we are the best in the world, or if not one of the best in the world. So yeah, let's make sure that they don't defund the NHS, which they will if they are allowed to, without kind of any, as I said, effective opposition or kind of people putting pressure on them. They will be allowed to do that, and they will make the working conditions for my colleagues in, not there, that's the football ground, but in there, absolutely untenable and unbearable, unless we do more than just clap for once a week for 12 weeks, right? So yes, I really hope that stuff that has been ignored by the medical establishment does get looked at. And let's see if we can use What Med Media as the place to make that conversation happen, right? So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. If you could like this, share it, comment it. I'll put some ads on it throughout the day. If you could chat to your friends on this video throughout the day. I've got to go and do work now, right? So I'm not going to be able to look at this video until the evening. So it's over to the 40 people that are watching to comment, tag people, say this might be interesting, ask questions, get to know each other in the comments. I will check in on them and I'll read them all later. I really enjoy reading them. And let's make a bit of positive change, because we're definitely doing it. We've reached 470,000 people in the last 28 days. So that's good. Hold on, I can remember a press conference a few weeks ago where the NHS spokesperson said he was happy more telephone appointments were being done. But how on earth can you diagnose people on the telephone? Claire, that's a really good point, right? And I think it depends, to be honest. I think it depends. I think hold on, what's the time? I could go on for a bit about this. I just need to check. Okay, I really need to go. I'll be quick. Right, so I think the medical profession has basically been quite conservative and quite slow to change. And the summary to this is, yes, it is possible. Tech has not been implemented into the NHS because it's been kind of left behind, and people are very stuck in their ways. Put it this way, medical school, we're still teaching people what we did 150 years ago or 100 years ago as a result of the Flexner report, which was in the States. And the Flexner report, the whole point of that was basically to build autonomous, professional, authoritarian physicians, generally men, only men in fact, that made decisions in isolation and on their own, right? So you can diagnose people over the telephone if it's done properly. Obviously, there's a case of a need for face-to-face physical content and examination for certain things, but we should look at this as an opportunity to how do we refresh medicine, how do we improve it, rather than pushing it back into the dark ages. So on that note, thank you very much for watching. Please share this video, comment in it below. I'll check in on it later. Thanks for your time. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys really, really soon. Cheers.